What's up, y'all? Welcome to Carolina Takedown Talk, episode 15. We are a wrestling podcast that's presented to you by Carolina's Mat News. Mr. Frank Smithwick doing big things for our North Carolina wrestling community. Make sure you follow all his social media accounts.
We're also brought to you by Village Coaching and Recruiting. Tanner Sewell, he's a coach that's going to help you guys get into college programs. All right, if you want to wrestle in college, I don't care if you want to wrestle club, D3, D2, D1, whatever you want. If you want to continue wrestling collegiately, get a hold of Coach Tanner Sewell and Village Coaching and Recruiting. Guys, some of the top kids in the state are reaching out to us and getting hooked up with Coach Sewell. Guys, he's going to fight for you. He's going to find the best place for you to land and for you to continue your college career and your wrestling career.
And always make sure you like, subscribe our YouTube channel. That really just helps us kind of get that content out there. Kind of like Brett already visited Gunner Webb. We have a couple other things up our sleeve that we're kind of thinking about. So just like and subscribe that YouTube channel and Frank's as well on Carolina's Mat News.
For sure.
And if you want to be a sponsor on this podcast, just shoot us a DM and we'll put you at the beginning as well. All right, Rhett, episode 15.
Week. Yeah.
Big week of duels going down. We had my favorite duel was like the one that kicked us off right away last Monday.
No doubt.
And just the atmosphere of Avery Robbinsville in the Mitchell gym, by the way, was hype. That was one of my favorite duels, not of just the year, but ever. Just because the atmosphere was great. And huge shout out to the Robbinsville program. And I know Teague Little and the Lumberton crew have been doing this as well. Of streaming their matches. I think Robbinsville Wrestling say that they've gotten a really good response from it. So they're going to continue to do that no matter what. Awesome. And it's been awesome. And Brett and I were both able to catch the majority of that duel live.
Yeah.
And so that was awesome to be able to just kind of tune in, and even though we weren't able to make it up there. So that was shout out to you guys. Shout out to Robbinsville and Avery for making an exciting duel and not backing down from that. So that was great. The big match, man, we talked about it last week. I was hyped for it. You were hyped for it. I got you even hyper for it.
Yep.
It was ready.
I joined the train.
And I think everybody on the stream was ready. I couldn't help myself. I was commenting in their Facebook comments like, here we go. Keith Williams, Seth Blackwood. I got too excited.
Who is this guy in the comments?
They're like, this is not a Robbinsville guy. Who is this random guy in their Facebook comments? But Seth Blackwood, Cage Williams, we both picked Cage going in. We kind of had a feeling that Cage was on another level at this point.
Yeah.
But to be quite honest with you, I didn't think the gap was going to be as large.
He's in a different world right now.
Yeah, as it was.
An animal, man.
I figured he was going to win by major. Maybe a 12-point gap at the most is kind of where I thought. But, man, he dominated from start to finish.
He really did. And Blackledge is good.
Blackledge is great.
Is really good. Like that's the thing is that
state champ as a freshman.
He's not
so good.
Yeah, like Cage isn't running through nobodies.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's not just looking like a stud against nobodies, against like freshmen that like, but he is the freshman that's coming up and I mean manhandling state champs.
Yeah, he's not your average
state placers.
He's not your average freshman, right?
He's not.
He doesn't look like it. He doesn't wrestle like it. He's got a real. I really like
a hammer.
His series that he was hitting a lot. He would go underhook, snap, run the corner. He hit that twice against Blackwood, and he hit a really nice single against Arts. Your guy Arts. So I mean, 2 out of the last like 4.
Shout out to Arts. Did just come back and win a conference title there. I got to show some love to Arts.
So,
but yeah, sorry. Back to Cage. I had to show some.
No, you're good.
Sorry. I'll turn it out of the way.
Cage got 2 sets of backs, I think, before the fall.
Man,
I mean, early second period fall. It wasn't even close. I don't see that result getting any closer.
No.
I don't think Cage is going to be challenged this year on the
NCHSAA just one position that he was like dominating in. It wasn't like Blackledge took down, it was a bad call, or he took top and just couldn't control it or whatever it was. Anywhere they went, Cage was outclassing him. And it's like it's just so tough. And like I said, I don't mean to completely just dog on Blackledge.
No, he's good. He's great.
He's solid. Great. Like, I can't even just say good. Like, that's my mistake. He is a great wrestler. But man, Cage is just proving, and I know you've been leading this hype train forever now. And I need to apologize to you and to Cage for not jumping on it more. But good gosh, like you can't refuse him. He's an animal. He's ridiculous.
So good.
One of the best in our state right now.
And I said on the last episode, I don't want to see him anywhere other than North Carolina for college. So college coaches, get on him early. Make sure he's in your camps. Do whatever is allowed to do for a freshman. And then next year when you're able to make those phone calls to him.
Yeah.
I know I'd love to see him wrestle in North Carolina for all 4 years and then continue to be a North Carolina kid in college for one of our local programs. So he's so good right now. So good right now. I'm really excited to see his progression. Like he's made such a big jump from last year to this point, and I'm just gonna get better, right? Just getting better. Him and Fink in the room, I'm sure go back and grind and have nice little scraps there. And I really we talked about our most anticipated matchups last episode. We kind of stuck within the classification, but I can't help but in my brain think, man, I wish this was a normal year. Man, I wish we could get like a little round robin between Devin Bell, Cage Williams, and Landon Four.
Man,
that would make my year if we could get that. And then throw in, I think Joe Z's coming down to 82. Is going to wrestle 82 for 3A. So
who wins that for you? 4? You take 4 there?
Oh man, I don't know. That's tough.
You brought it up.
Yeah,
I have to put you on the spot.
No, that's the thing. That becomes such a toss-up for me. It depends. Cage has looked so good as of late. Forrest just coming back off an injury. I think Devin Bell's top game makes a huge difference in those matches. He's going to have a really distinct advantage on the mat. And then Joe Z, I think Joe Z athletically might be on a different tier than all 3 of those guys. And he had his win over Cage in the offseason this past season. So I don't know. I don't know who would win. I think that's why I wish we could see it. I wish we could see it. We're not going to, but you never know. Hey, maybe all 4 guys will meet each other in college around the same way, even though I think 4 will probably be a little smaller than all those guys in college, but
probably. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see, but hey.
But other than that match,
the duel was
great.
Yeah.
But it just showed us how good Avery is too. But I also think that it showed us how good Robbinsville is and how much people sleep on them. I know we don't, because I don't think we've had an episode that we haven't talked about Robbinsville.
For sure.
But at the same time, we're not trying to be Robbinsville homers. It's just that Robbinsville has had one of the toughest schedules this year. Whenever we talk about weekly duels and weekly matches, it's tough not to talk about them because they, like we've said, they wanted the smoke this year. Yeah. And they went out and they got it. And Avery gave him the smoke. Right?
Avery gave him the smoke. Man.
That's it.
It kind of felt like it was a little close, and then all of a sudden it hit the meat of that Avery lineup.
Yeah.
And oh boy, it opened up. They started at like 220, I think, right? 220. And Levi Andrews kind of did his thing. Zach Vance did his thing. And then Robbinsville kind of came up, and then they got to the 132-pound match where Ethan Shell came out, and then all of a sudden it was like
Murder's Row.
Avery win, and Ethan Shell looked great. It was kind of like boom, 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 and
snowball effect.
It really helped. Like the momentum swung back into Robbinsville's favor until Cage Williams and Kyle Fink came on that and got two falls there. But by then it was just too late.
Yeah, too far behind.
It just kind of reaffirms what we've been saying, that Avery's kind of just far and away the best team this year.
Yeah.
And they just looked good. I really, when we had Christian Beach on here, he straight up said, he was like, I think Ethan Shell is the best kid in Avery's room. Man, I have a hard time arguing with that. Ethan Shell looking really good. As of right now, I don't know this for a fact, but as of right now, I'm not sure where he's leaning college-wise. College coaches, Ethan Shell, 25, 33-pounder, they're hard to find.
On him.
You should be contacting Ethan Shell right now.
I know, yeah.
I know he's up there in John Mark Bentley country, so I'm sure John Mark's on him. But don't sleep on Ethan Shell.
Yeah.
Check him out. Recruiting stuff starting to open back up. So
I think he's good. I think he's going to be a good kid that transitions into college. Well.
Yes.
I think he's going to transition really well.
He's really solid in all positions, right? He doesn't have a whole lot of holes. He's not like out. He's just not out athleticing or out muscling, making up words here, but
out athleticing.
Yeah. He's not like the best athlete every time he steps on the mat comparatively to the guy he's wrestling.
Technique is there.
Technique is there.
Solid. Stays in good position.
He has great foundational skills, which is going to translate to that next level. So I'm excited to see him. So let's move on. There's other duels that happen that we're excited about. I think if we don't mention Lumberton, Teague Little may find me and headlock me.
Yeah.
So let's make sure we mention our boys in Lumberton, Teague Little, and Dakota Roberts out there coaching. So
best poster before the season, for sure.
And
best schedule now, man. But they so one team, and we just completely missed it, and we just want to apologize for that.
Yeah, we're getting
so many results.
Don't be afraid to call us out. We don't mind.
We love it. Like, shout out to you, Teague, for letting us know that we missed it and fighting for your guys. Like, that's what I love to see, and that's what we love to see is coaches that are willing to fight for their guys. And we know that you are one that's willing to do that. We knew that already, but we talk about Pinecrest a lot. They get a lot of love because I think one thing is their social media game so strong that it's tough to
especially
forget them
on Twitter, which is where I'm at more often.
That's where you're at.
I'm on Twitter most of the time.
But Lumberton I really think that they are presenting themselves to be a team to watch out for from that 4A East.
Yeah, I think they're ranked second in the East of the NC MAT. We're going to talk a little more about the NC MAT stuff later, but they're ranked second. They beat Pinecrest before last week's episode, but honestly, I just missed that result completely. Right. I'm going to miss them. I'm not afraid to admit that I'm going to miss results. The weekly recap, you don't see a result you think there should be on there, send me a message or just like Teague did, just comment on there and let me know.
Speaking of results, coaches, guys, managers, whoever does it, please, if you can, get those results into track because
I'm begging you, please, because I'm like sitting on pins and needles waiting for some of these results. Or some of the dual meets what we can't talk about the way I want to talk about them because the results aren't on track. And if you don't put them in track, somebody on the team, you send it to the Carolina Takedown Talk social media stuff, whether it's Twitter or Facebook or
we know you guys are busy. We know you guys also have lives, but
just a quick little box score of, hey, this kid beat this kid, this kid beat that kid. Or if you want us to talk about your results, send it to us. I've refreshed track wrestling probably, like I said on the last episode, like 1,000 times. I spend probably more time than anybody on there.
Yeah.
And I can't help it if the results aren't on there and we can't travel to all the duels. Frank's been doing a great job. He was at the West Forsyth,
Huff, right?
Yeah, or he went to Huff, but he also went to West Forsyth, Pinecrest, Lake Norman.
Yep.
So we know that he was there for that one. I'm interested in some of those results. I haven't seen them come out, which usually those teams have those results up pretty quickly. And that was the most recent duel. So put those results in there for us, or just send us a quick box score or a quick recap of what happened. We're interested. We want to talk about it. We want to promote your program, or we want to talk about the biggest news in
North
Carolina wrestling. So
exactly, that's what we're here for. But so back to Lumberton, I do think that they are a team that is going to keep on growing and keep on getting better. They ran into a pretty historic program from down there. They lost to Union Pines. Is what it is sometimes. Sometimes you just got to hammer. You don't have the bullets in the gun.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's one of those things that Lumberton, they are having a good season. I mean, I think they're 11-1. I think that was their
first loss.
I think that was the first loss of the season.
I think so.
And that's big down there.
And they have this freshman 145-pounder, Jackson Buck.
Yeah,
real good. It's on my freshman big board. Pretty high on him. Really interested to see kind of where he progresses throughout the year. So Lumberton doing big things. Union Pines obviously beating them. That's a good win for them as well. So just make sure, again, we mentioned Pinecrest might be a team to come out of the East, 4A East, if there was a dual tournament. Lumberton kind of beat Pinecrest, right? Head to head. So
Lumberton said, let's calm down.
Yeah.
Lumberton said, let's calm down.
So that might be the team.
We're here too. All right.
But so we had that Lake Norman, Pinecrest, and West Forsyth duel. The results are on Carolina's Mat News for that. Hopefully, maybe Brett and I'll do an Instagram live or something to kind of talk about the individual matches, because there's something that we wanted to look at. And then Pinecrest over Jack Brett earlier in the week. Didn't get the individual matches we were hoping for, but that happens, right? People got to do what's best for their dual lineup. Cata over Mount Pleasant, kind of top two Midwest teams there with Cata and Mount Pleasant. Cata showing that they're not just a tournament team, they're a dual team by being Mount Pleasant. And then we got to talk the last result we got to talk about, Rhett. We got to bring up North Henderson over Inca at the conference tournament.
Yeah, North came to wrestled well. I unfortunately was not able to be there this weekend. As I'm getting married next week. So these next few weeks are we're kind of busy. So
the different setup, different quicker shows, different days. Maybe
I might do a show from Mexico.
Yes,
on the honeymoon.
Little crazy for Carolina Takedown talk for our boy Rhett getting married here the next weekend. So,
but North came out and they wrestled great. I mean, that's a Coach Oy and Coach Knock over there. They do great things. I mean, I know they're a conference rival for us. North Henderson and West Henderson are kind of, I would say, our conference rivals. I may be a little biased just because they were my high school rivals while I was wrestling in high school. But they came out and they wrestled great. They're led by senior Tristan Norris, App State commit, who we talked a little bit off the air about, how you think he's going to be a 4-year starter for App, possibly. How he's going to come in and really affect and do big things for App State. He went down to 220. Not really sure where he's looking at with that, if he's going to go back up to heavyweight. I'd really love to see him, and I can never pronounce the kid's last name. Jameer, is it Friere or?
Yes, yeah.
I can't pronounce it. Sorry, man. I hate that I can't pronounce it.
You're awesome, though.
Yeah, you're a stud as well. But Tristan came down. It went down 220. I think it was just kind of a better lineup for North to win that team title, but we did have a few big champs, a few big wins. Eli Foster came out.
He was good.
I mean, I don't think we look bad. Eli Foster, shout out. He conference champ, had a big match for him.
Yeah.
Which I really think that we could be seeing that as a
regional final.
A regional, I would say regional semi-regional final. It's gonna shake up to how these regional brackets fall, man. I mean,
it's gonna be
that's
crazy.
Always the big question of how are we gonna seed, and then that gets into a whole another. That's opened up a big can of worms of like coaches, scheduling an easy schedule of giving their kids an undefeated season so they can come in and be in one seed, whatever. I hate that, but we're not gonna get into that. But Laz from North going out,
so good.
I really think that people are sleeping on Laz. I think that Laz could come out.
Yeah, now he's down at 113.
I think he could be a state title contender.
Oh, for sure. I'll still take Gaglio over him.
Yeah.
Cobble from Piedmont over him.
I think if Laz comes out and wrestles his match, he could wrestle with anybody.
It's not a blowout. It's not a match.
And like I said, Oy and Knock are great over there. They get kids ready. And they've obviously had great success with little guys in their program with Mitchell Langford and Colby Langford.
Yeah.
I mean, Mitchell is arguably one of the best wrestlers ever come through the state. Only losing 3 matches, and I think only one of them was actually
just that state final his senior year.
Yeah.
And I think they're also underrated game plan wise. Like some coaches are really good at game planning, and I feel like
North does great at it.
Oy and Knocker, phenomenal.
Oy and Knocker great, and they're
great
class acts. No class acts,
no one's better. I feel like than that group.
I agree.
Together, like the two of them together, like
and they're great guys. Yeah, they're
great
guys.
Great guys. Yeah.
They really are. Like I said, them. I have a lot of respect for Oy, a lot of respect for Knock. Obviously, a lot of respect for Coach Conley at West. I think they're in a little bit of rebuilding season this year.
But they'll be back.
They'll definitely be back, though. I got to have a quick shout out to, like I said, Foster, Harris, Torres, Art, and Maxwell, all conference champs. We're just gonna keep on getting better. This was a weekend that the way we kind of approach things is a way to get better. And I'm sure we learned a lot of things. And this week we're gonna get better starting Monday. Congrats to North. Let's see if you can beat us again at regionals.
Yeah, which will be at
exactly.
Henderson.
Yeah, they came to us. Conference was at Inca. We hosted it. I guess we're gonna have to go to North and
Yeah,
and
so and I'll
take
be
back
there
that
for that.
title.
I'm gonna be at
Take
3A
back that
West,
title.
and my plan is as of right now, 3A West kind of at the start or in the middle of the day, and then I'm gonna make my way to the 2A West at Pisgah
Okay.
For the finals at the end of the day. It's kind of
3A West
my plan right now.
Yeah.
But
Like we said, guys, so we couldn't talk a lot. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you go.
We can't talk about a lot of the results we had. You know, I mean, there were some big ones that we were really hoping we'd get to see, you know, Aiden Curry and Dalton Miller. You know, we don't know how that shook up or if it happened. So please, put those results in, give us the chance to talk about this, to promote your program, to promote your kids. If you want us to talk about your match, send it to us. If you're an athlete and you want us to talk about your match, send it to us. You know, I mean,
send us the video.
Yeah, send us a video. We're gonna try and start doing some segments where we watch some matches and break them down. And like we said when we started this, we want this to grow this sport in North Carolina. And for us to do that, we have to have the not the content, because we have, I mean, great content from what you guys are doing already, but we have to be able to see it. You know, I mean, you guys are the content, the wrestlers are the content, high school coaches, your programs, what you guys are doing is the content. And we just want to blast it out, and we just want to be able to shout you guys out. I mean, I try and do the best I can, that if you guys tag me in something, I share it. You know, I mean, I don't care if it's a kid or if it's a coach. If you guys tag me in a school or in a school result, or just, you know, the box scores, the pictures, the scoreboard, anything. Yeah, we try and share it. We try and shout it out. One big one that we have was Northwest Guilford.
Yes,
they came out, and we almost forgot about this.
If this happened so early in the week,
a claim that I think is massive, that I want to talk about and get your opinion on it.
Yeah, I think people are going to be.
They're trying to say that they are the best dual team in the state. Period.
My opinion.
Yep.
They proved it. They proved it. They beat Morrisville. They beat Lake Norman. Who else? I mean, what else do they need to do? They beat those top two teams right there.
Do you think they're better than your boys, Central Cabarrus?
Dual team wise, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Dual team wise, probably.
Think they beat Avery in a duel?
Dual team wise, probably.
Wow.
They've proved it. Look, they beat a loaded Morrisville team, man. I was really impressed by that.
So right now, you think they beat Huff as well?
That's the one. That's the one. You knew it right there. That's the one.
You think they can go down and beat Huff,
the defending
trainer, coached by Trip Rogers?
That's the one. Dang it, NCHSAA, North Carolina Athletic Association. Do we not have a dual team?
Actually, wore this today.
I'm about to go off on y'all a little bit later in the show, so I'm gonna hold back a little bit. Dual state championship. Come on.
Yeah.
Huh? Northwest Guilford. I mean, it's hard to argue with Northwest Guilford's results right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. And I don't say this in the fact of, I'm not saying it that I completely agree with them or that I completely disagree with them. I absolutely love that these kids are are calling us out and being like, we're the best.
Yeah.
I love that swagger about their program. And I think that's why they're having the results they're having this year, is because they believe in themselves. They believe in the guy that's wrestling right before them and the guy that's wrestling right after them. And that's what you have to be a great dual team. To be the best dual team in the state, you have to have that. I don't know if they beat Huff. I think Laney will be a good duel.
I think Laney's a great duel with that. Now, here's the reason I'm going to say yes. And it's not backed up by hypothetical matchup. Look, I haven't looked straight down theirs versus Huff lineup or Avery's. I'm going to take them because they've gone and proved it, right? They've went and beat Mooresville, who is really, really good. So right now, they're the one team that has gone and wrestled most of the time.
Did they wrestle Lake Norman already?
They went and beat Lake Norman, and they beat somebody else really good as well that I'm just kind of forgetting right now. But they've beaten a lot of the top teams already. So they've gone out and done that. And then they've had kind of guys like their 113-pounder Eli Pendergrass. He's kind of emerged as someone who's really good. He had a win over Noah Murray from Lake Norman, who I think very highly of. I talked about this a couple weeks ago, but man, I mean, it's hard to argue with. Is what was basically my point. It's hard to argue that they're not the best dual team right now when they've gone and beat all these top teams.
So.
Too bad we won't actually know who's the best dual team in the state is.
I hate it. I hate that we don't get to see that. And what's crazy is that you're not even a dual team guy.
No,
and here you are sitting here begging for this from the. I mean, but NCHSAA, there's
I am a tournament guy, and I'd rather see individual matchups. Because duels, you have to bump guys up, and everybody's got to do his best for their program. And I understand that, but I just like seeing the top matchups. But can we not have a dual tournament just because I want to see these top ones?
Yeah.
But I feel like that ship has sailed for the year. It kind of sucks, but
another
team that I don't want to leave off. That speaking of tagging us and stuff, DH Conley is like 12-0.
Yeah,
and
DH Conley is
they beat First Flight, West Carteret, Currituck, right?
I think they're up in that part of the, or they're over in that part of the state.
They're Winterville, North Carolina, which is right outside of Greenville, right by ECU.
Yeah. Not big for wrestling, right there. But
legendary Milt Sherman over there.
Okay, you're right.
He was a really good coach for them. Then kind of did some big things. Now he's at the ECU club team. So they're kind of building there. And it looks was looking at some of their box scores. They're looking pretty good.
Yeah.
And the thing that I like about it wasn't necessarily like, oh, okay, they beat all these teams. Right. And obviously the First Flight win jumped out to me just because I watched the majority of First Flight results being an alumni. Dual team wise, not a staggering result because First Flight's got some forfeits in there. But the thing that I liked about it is they tagged you in that post. They tagged our Carolina Takedown Talk post. And they said, we want the smoke.
Yeah.
We want smoke. It's kind of catching on a little bit. You talked about it just a little bit ago. We like seeing this competition. To be the best, you got to wrestle the best, whether it's dual team wise or individual wise.
Be the best.
No reason to shy away from competition. Yeah. We like that mentality. So DH Conley,
shout out to you guys.
Shout out to you guys. They have a really good 120 pounder. Cannot pronounce your last name, man, so I'm not going to butcher it. But Ethan looks really good. I think him and Sam Hodge might wrestle in the next duel, so that'll be a good one.
There you go.
So that'll be good. But those two teams, again, so keep tagging us in those on our social media.
Please.
And send us those results. Now, we were talking a lot about our man, Cage Williams, right?
Yep.
He is phenomenal freshman. I have him number 2 on the freshman big board.
Yeah.
Number 1 is our man, Joe Seeley, who is also phenomenal freshman. These two guys are just so good right now. And third is Eli Murray, who is also phenomenal. But Joe Seeley going down to Florida. He wins Southeast Regionals. After he wins Northeast Regionals, he won Cadet and Juniors at both of them.
And Junior. I don't think people are realizing how tough that is.
That is incredibly tough.
Also Cadet and Junior. Man, shout out to you, Joe.
He's just proving it right now.
And I don't know. He had a big match the other night, and I hate that I don't remember the name. But I believe it was an exhibition, but I think he bumped up 2 or 3 weight classes and wrestled a kid that was ranked 3rd or took 3rd last year, something like that, but just toyed with him. Wrecked him. And I don't remember who it was, but it was just this kid isn't. He's a whole nother level. A whole nother level. He's ridiculous.
So good right now. So good.
He's stay in the state of North Carolina.
Yeah.
College coaches, do whatever you have. Yeah. Throw the whole farm at this man. Keep him in the state.
Tony Ramos,
please.
Colton Scott, John Mark Bentley, Scotty Sentis, Top. All you guys should be really dialed in.
Anything you can do to get that kid. He's
him and Cage both.
He's a hammer.
And so I'm just, I'm a big freestyle guy. So just watching Joe succeed in freestyle, pretty awesome for me. Now he went to those cadet trials. I think that's the next step for him. I'm really excited to see if we can put
and wrestled great at cadet trials.
Yeah.
I mean, had the big
right there with
controversial call.
Yeah.
David Taylor in the corner.
Yeah.
And the push out, everything else.
And Joe came out and said that I think Ryan Hayes came out on his thing and said him and Joe kind of said that was kind of the right call or whatever.
Right.
Either way, he was in the match. That was a tight match with cadet world teamer Levi Haynes, who just come into Penn State.
Yeah.
So Joe's right there to kind of be on that cusp of making a world team, which is, to me, making a cadet world team is kind of like
unheard of in North Carolina.
Yeah, that we don't have kids that do that very often, but in general, I think making that world team is kind of the biggest thing you can do in high school.
Yeah. 100%.
I mean, Fargo is an amazing winning a Fargo title is, especially a Fargo junior title, is probably number 2. And then the next best thing
is making that
team. And then obviously Super 32 title right up there as well. It's kind of things to do. But I mean, he's right there. So him, Cage, Eli Murley, I feel like those 3. And then this next guy, Jack's 4th, isn't even a high schooler yet. He took 3rd place down at Southeast Regionals and Cadets.
Yeah.
He's going to be kind of.
He's going to be a stud.
He's going to be a stud. He's going to be a guy next year we're talking about as kind of like
Where is he going to be going to high school? Do you know?
Somewhere in, I think, Alamance County somewhere. Okay. I'm not 100% sure what high school in there. Maybe, I don't know. I don't want to speak and not know 100%.
No, I understand. Yeah.
But he's going to be kind of a year from now, the freshman we're talking about.
Yeah.
For sure. Him, he's really, really good. And so for him, Sealy, Eli Murray, Case Williams, I really want to see them to kind of make pushes for Cadet World teams, man. That'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to the guys that went down and to the guys and the girls that went down to Florida and wrestling Southeast Regionals this year. And the Frank Raider Championships, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, the whole Spartan combat thing surrounding it, looks pretty cool.
I know. Awesome. I think it was just tough. I know we had Ed Duncan on last week. We got to talk to him a little bit. We got to interview him. Check out that interview on our Instagram page. It'll also be up on our YouTube soon. But I just think that it's a tough time right now for tournaments. Yeah. It's a really tough time with the high school season going on. I mean, not every kid and not every coach really wants their kids to go. And,
no, especially traveling all the way to Florida. Yeah. I get it. I understand completely.
I mean, it's tough. I mean,
I'm glad they were able to go.
Yeah.
But I understand why people didn't go.
Yeah. Big shout out to you guys for going and competing. Congrats on the results. But we had a little bit of drama in North Carolina over some social media with the argument of NCMAT versus ranked wrestler.
Yeah. And Frank kind of stirred this up a little bit with the post. I think he was just curious.
Yeah, really I think he's wanting some conversation.
And we don't want to dive too deep into it because I promised our man Christian Beach that he can come on, or we'll have him on one of our mini episodes on Instagram.
Yeah.
And kind of let him talk about this a little bit.
He's pretty passionate about it.
And I don't want to give completely away because thencmat.com is a paid subscription service. So I don't want to kind of just give the rankings away completely. But they do have a little bit of controversy with their pound for pound rankings, is where Christian kind of was going with that on his post. I kind of see where Christian's coming from. I do see where Christian's coming from. It looks a little, in my opinion, their pound for pound looks a little projection-ish as far as what they think is the best versus whether it's a mathematical formula.
Yeah.
For me, I'm upfront about that with the big boards. The big boards are.
Can you explain that to me off air a little bit? That it really clicked for me better hearing you explain it this way. So I want you to go ahead and continue on that.
But the big board type, I'm upfront with there's an opinion piece of that, right? There's an opinion piece. There's elite wins, which is not opinion based, right? It's national results, which is not opinion based. Then there's just their skill with opinion based, right? How I view them skill wise, and then there's their in season results, right? Which is a not opinion based thing. It's all but the last part of it is purely my opinion. Right? How I view them as a college prospect. So it's not a ranking like a pound for pound best class in the class ranking, right? It's how I view them on the next level. Who is the best college prospect in this grade level? So that way it's more of a recruiting ranking going down. So a college coach can come and say, okay, this kid is the 4th best prospect in this class. And it's slides up and down, going down to the 25th, which I expanded the big boards to 25, the last update, and then split up the girls rankings. But so it's how I view them as a college prospect. And part of that is also their production on the next level. So where they choose to go to college and how they fit into the lineup kind of matters a little bit into that as well. Like if this guy's going to be a 4-year starter at this university versus this guy's going to have a really hard time making the lineup, et cetera, right? So it's more of a how I view them as a college prospect versus it's not a pound for pound ranking, which is what NC Mats is. Now, when you say pound for pound ranking, to me, the word ranking means it's got to be mathematical.
Yeah.
And that might just be like the teacher in me maybe I guess that I feel like when you say the word ranking, it's got to be provable. Like this guy is ranked second because this lost to this guy or this lost to this guy and he beat this. There should be no projection in it, right? Not a lot of projection in it. And I think that's where Christian's problem is that there's a little projection in the pound for pound ranking.
Right.
And I like I said, I see his point.
Yeah.
Because it's not personally how I would rank it.
Right.
But I'm not the ranker of NCMAA's pound for pound. So if they wanted to explain that, they could. We'll see. What, like I said, we're gonna have.
You're welcome to come on.
Yeah, and
reach out. Yeah, reach out to us. We'd love to give you, to give everybody a clear picture of how you guys look at that and what you guys look at. Heck, we would love to know what if you guys have a process, or if it's literally just, hey, I think that, I think that 4 is better than whoever, whatever it is. Yeah,
this or
exactly
this. So
exactly.
Like I said, I don't want to dive too deep into it.
Yeah, we're gonna save that because
Christian.
But we're gonna save that.
I thought it was just interesting. And then the NCMAA versus ranked wrestlers thing. We were talking off air. It's both of them have their flaws.
Yeah,
ranked wrestlers is really hard right now with the shortened season and stuff. So that's kind of hard. And
I agree with what you said about ranked wrestlers off air. You said the only thing or one of the things you don't like about ranked wrestlers that if a kid goes to a different weight, or if he goes to, if he bumps up or bumps down, it moves everything out of there and it kind of messes with that equation. And so
I noticed like
the dual team season kind of messes with that a little bit.
A couple times, like Landon 4 bumped up to like 220 last year for the team.
Yeah.
And it moved him all the way up to 220 because he wrestled there like 3 duels in a row. Yeah. And it moved him up there, even though he was
not at 220.
Yeah, he's coming back down to 82. So, and I get that also makes sense ranking them where they compete, but he already had competed at 182. So it's hard when it's just straight math, like formula math.
And there's no be some way of putting it into the middle there.
But so either way, definitely we appreciate the NCMAA and all the work that those guys put in to the rankings.
Yeah,
and then all the ranked wrestler stuff too. At least the rankings, people as a wrestler, as a competitor, you have to say this. You have to say rankings and seeds don't matter.
Right.
You have to. As a coach, I said it all the time. Right. Even if sometimes I didn't 100% believe it to my guys, I would say that because that's the mentality you got to have to beat the best and to win.
As Barry Jackson said for us, you wrestle faceless opponents.
Yeah.
Right. Like
Steve, all the time.
Rankings they don't matter whenever you get released up on the mat. As fans, and
as fans, as a media person, rankings matter. It gives us something to talk about. It gives me something to write about when I'm doing the NCMAA stuff. If you got your 5th ranked kid beating the 1st ranked kid, that's a big deal, right? So rankings do matter when it comes to creating content and getting more things talked about. So
I think rankings matter.
NCMAA and recruiting as well. So NCMAA and ranked wrestlers, we appreciate what you guys are doing.
Yeah, for sure. So,
all right.
Now, the biggest part of our episode here, the biggest thing that we've been kind of holding off on all week, on try not to go off on anybody. We've been kind of pin it all up. I'll let you take it.
All right, man. So I've been kind of holding my tongue for a long time about this, just because I was hopeful that North Carolina High School Athletic Association would do the right thing eventually.
The time for hoping has come to an end, and something has to be done.
The world is crazy right now, right? We talked about in the very first episode, it's a wild year. COVID has turned the world upside down.
Right. We don't want to downplay that.
For sure. And at the time we started this podcast, the world was looking a lot different than it does now.
Whole different.
Especially here in North Carolina. We got to have WRESTLEBACKS. We got to have them. I don't understand why we don't have them at this point. I understand we made the decision when we did, and when they made that decision, I wasn't going to argue with that.
Yeah.
Right? The way the world was looking, the way North Carolina in particular was looking, I was fine with it.
Yeah.
I was fine with it. I understood. I was just super grateful that we were going to get to have a season at that point. But the more we've gone on and the more we've seen successful state tournaments go on and the more things have gotten back to normal, especially here lately in the past 2 weeks in our state, the further we get away from, well, this is for kids' safety, this is for safety, this is for safety, blah, 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 blah. I don't understand why we're having these sorry excuses. And I'm not gonna beat around the bush. The reason given that we're limiting sports is nothing but a sorry, lame, lazy excuse.
Yep.
I understand that you set this precedent at the beginning of the season. I get it. That's what you went with, and that is what you planned for all year. And I do not care if it makes your life harder to switch it up now and do what's right by the kids. If this athletic association, if our athletic association is truly about what they say they are about, and about the student athlete, then they'll do what's right by our student athletes and allow at least partial WRESTLEBACKS. It's not like our community is screaming like, hey, let's do the full thing. We love that. But some of the things we're asking for is just WRESTLEBACKS from the quarters on.
Yeah.
Right? We even have said we'll take first round single elimination and then move to the quarters and do our double elimination.
Yeah.
It literally doesn't go with what they say they are about. Now, they've got some stuff going on with their endowment fund, right? We don't want to get into that because I want to educate myself a lot more on that before I go off on that.
Yeah.
But I'm completely flabbergasted, confused, and mad. Yeah. That we have gotten to this point where we are about to be a week from now. It is June, right? The month that the state tournament is going to occur.
Yep.
We have heard nothing, right? And it sounds like we are not going to hear anything. And the excuse that they gave, this is the excuse that I heard they gave, that they said we are still limiting sports this year.
Basketball at full playoffs, football at full playoffs.
Yeah. I think the football teams were reduced, right? So I don't follow football completely, but I do know that the football games weren't stopped in the dang third quarter.
Yeah.
That's basically the equivalent, right? They've already limited our sport. They took away the dual state championship. They took away tournaments.
Yeah.
They took away more than the tri-meet. They limited the amount of matches you could have. They took all that away. They already limited our sport. And with all of that, I agreed with.
At that time.
At that time. Now, the further we get, the closer to normal we have become.
Mm-hmm.
I do not understand why we are still sitting here today talking about wanting to not have a single elimination state tournament. Why you have to make the regional finals to make the state tournament.
Yeah.
Right? I just don't get it. It just makes no sense. And this is where I'm at too. We've seen Ohio, South Carolina, Pennsylvania, and a glutton full of others, right? A bunch of other states do it fine with safe protocol.
Yeah.
South Carolina did it. They're right below us. Now I know there's been a little bit more openness in South Carolina from the get-go. Pennsylvania, though, is on the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
And Pennsylvania did it in the Hershey Center, Giant Center. They spread it out a little bit. They had like their AA in the morning, their AAA in the afternoon or something like that. I followed it briefly, but they spread it out. They had full WRESTLEBACKS. They did their normal tournament. They limited how many kids came, and I get that. And if you said, hey, we're still going to limit the state qualifiers, but we're going to have full WRESTLEBACKS at the state tournament, I probably could get down with that. I think the thing that got me fired up the most is when they said, we're still limiting sports. And I feel like they don't understand that the equivalent of limiting full WRESTLEBACKS is basically stopping a football game at halftime.
Yeah.
Right? Especially when it comes to the state tournament, because that's where.
Well, especially regionals.
Yeah.
I would even argue that regionals is even more important.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, with me personally, you know, like I won a state title my sophomore year. I came in seeded fourth. I lost in the quarters that year. Came back. I lost in the Conci finals, but went on to the state tournament and won a state title. You know, and I'm not the only one. I don't just say that to bring up mine, but
you're not the only one. I mean, we had two last year that were like that. Chase Creighton from Mount Pleasant, state champ out of the 4 seed.
Yep.
Caleb Tate won a state title, and he didn't make the regional finals. right? And so neither of those guys in this format would be even at the state tournament, which blows my mind. And
You're cheating,
especially, man, you know how it is.
them.
We're going to have some stacked regional brackets. I mean, what if Marcus Jackson and Trip Collins are they going to be in the same region? What if they're on the same side of the regional bracket?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a plausible thing, y'all.
Yeah.
That's a plausible thing. That could really happen based on records because we're not having all these big tournaments and we're not going to have this huge 45 match schedule that's going to kind of wane the percentage back into being a normal bracket where it should be. There's going to be some skewed stuff going on at regionals, not to anybody's fault. It's because of where they were limited to. And we could have state champs not make the state tournament. And I know as a coach or as an athlete, you can't worry about that.
Right.
You're just going to do what's in front of you. You're going to, if you're the best, you're going to come out the best. And I understand that. But I'm going to be here saying what I think is right. I know you're going to say what you think is right. We just talked about that. But I mean, like, and Rhett just shared his story. So we're encouraging anybody who has some story similar to Rhett's or has seen one. Like for me, I remember this kid's my age. Brandon Davis from Page was the 4 seed out of the region. And he beat Colton Palmer in the semis, who was the regional champ. And then he won in the finals. Now, Brandon Davis from Page won state title as a freshman and senior. One of the best kids in that era. So good on his feet. A Rickion kid. Looks amazing, right? But he never would have had the opportunity in this format. So what I'm encouraging you, and Rhett's encouraging you, and Mike Rowland, he's the one who kind of put this out there. Matthew's dad, he's a big part of NCHSAA wrestling there. He's encouraging all parents, all coaches, all members of the media, all whoever, athletes,
family members, friends,
family members, friends, moms, dads, uncles, grandmas, whoever, to email Trey Waters, to email Q Tucker, and let them know how we feel. Now,
and if you need help, like some people aren't great with their words, right? Some people don't they don't know how to just say, or they don't want to just email someone and say, hey, please just have WRESTLEBACKS, okay? Go to Robbinsville Wrestling's Facebook account or their Facebook page, okay? Make sure you give them a like. Awesome program in the state. They do it the right way. But go there, scroll down. I believe it was on it was 2 days ago. Okay. So, well, today's Sunday. So on Friday, so what is that? Today's 23rd, 22nd, May 21st. Mm-hmm. Go back to that page. They literally have a full template for you guys to go and email them. They have Q and Trey's email both on there, and both listed. And they have one for the wrestler. It's I'm a high school wrestler from blank, and I'm asking you to consider giving me and my teammates some sort of WRESTLEBACK opportunity during the upcoming regional and state tournaments. Okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and read the whole thing because I think it's great. I think they read it. They write it perfectly. It's every wrestler's dream to stand on the podium at the end of the season, and for many seniors, is the last opportunity to get their hands raised in victory. I appreciate the opportunity that you're giving us this season. I'm asking you to please take this opportunity into consideration. Okay, sincerely. And then they give you another spot to do the same thing. And then they have one for parents. I won't read the parents one because there's something in there from that one that I really want to talk about. That so many kids don't ever wrestle again after they leave the Greensboro Coliseum, normally in February. Normally that last weekend or second to last weekend in February at the Greensboro Coliseum is the last time that a lot of those kids ever get to put on a pair of wrestling shoes.
I would say 93%.
And ever gets to step back on a mat and compete. It is amazing, like the stories that you hear of kids losing that first round and coming back and wrestling back for third, even coming back and winning their final match to take fifth, right? NCHSAA, you guys are not allowing us, I say this us as a coach, to teach these young men and women life, okay? Losing is part of it, right? Everyone gets knocked down, right? So I think the whole country, the whole world got knocked down by COVID, right? I would say that it beat us down, and it changed the whole world, okay? Let us teach these kids how to keep on fighting, all right? That is what you let us do by letting us have WRESTLEBACKS, okay? If we just have these and we say, oh, well, you lost, you're done, that's it, how's that teaching a kid to fight? How's that teaching him to get back up and keep going. You know, I just please let us have WRESTLEBACKS. All right, it's a different situation than what we had when you originally released it. I agree 100% with you of that. Whenever it first came out, it was a, you know what, thank you for letting us wrestle. Like, thank you for letting us get there. But look, we are wrestling and we are showing you that we can do this, okay? And that we can, and that the numbers are okay, and that the numbers are fine, right? Other states have done it. You know, we had Ohio, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, just 3 to name it right there that have done it and have been fine. All right, we're not asking for a full tournament as much as I would love that. I don't think that that's possible. I don't think that they're going to let us come in there and have a full 3-day tournament like we normally would. But please, regional tournaments, let these kids wrestle. Okay, like you're asking way too much to only qualify the top 2 in a region. All right, you were like, and then it's state, what, single elimination after the semis at that point, or after the quarter?
So it's gonna be single elimination. Unless you make the semis, you don't wrestle for place. It's just 3rd, 4th place. The losers of the semis are gonna wrestle for 3rd, 4th.
Let these kids wrestle. I mean, that's it.
And here's another thing I don't understand. They allowed round robin conference tournament. But they're not allowing double elimination with a 8-man state bracket. Like, you're gonna wrestle I mean, you can wrestle only 5 matches at a round robin conference tournament, but you're not going to let them wrestle 1 less than that for 8-man bracket. I don't know, man. Ridiculous. I don't get it. And I think like I said, I think the thing that fired me up the most is when I saw that
them saying that we're limiting sports.
And I get that.
That's a slap in the face to the wrestling community.
I get it. I understand that you're limiting sports, but you already did. This isn't limiting. This is taking equitable opportunities away. Let's do the right thing. Like I said, I get it, man. You set these things when the world was even crazier than it is right now, and we're approaching normalcy. And I don't want to get into like
COVID and all that
and stuff. But the restrictions have loosened from the point when we started wrestling season, right? And I understand that it might be a little bit more work, and I understand that it takes a lot of flexibility on their part to make this happen. But dang, if anybody's job hasn't had to be flexible throughout this whole thing, right? I mean, my job description has changed about 16 different times this year. About the way I've been teaching has been ebbing and flowing. Even tomorrow, when I step up there and I teach for the last week of school, it might be different than it was last week, right? And I'm learned to be flexible with that, and have been flexible with that. We need you, the North Carolina Athletic Association, to be flexible and do the right thing and hear us out. So that's where we come into play, wrestling community. We got to let them know how we feel. Rhett told you where to find Robbinsville Wrestling Facebook page, where to find those templates. And if you don't want to use those, you want to type your thing. My ploy is, man, I always say you catch more flies with honey, right? So do it respectfully, right? At least we got to have the start of our wrestling season, which I thought at one point was going to happen, right? So let's do it respectfully. Now, are they wrong? 1,000% wrong right now. We need this change. So contact Trey and Q. We'll put their emails are already out there. Mike Rowland sent them out. We'll put them back out with this episode as well. Let's contact them. I'll be respectful with our emails. Let them know how we feel. Let them know that this is what we need for our season to be completed rightfully. Right. The wrestling community is amazing that as a community, we were able to resurrect that Stanford wrestling program.
That was massive.
Shane Griffith winning the national title really brought a whole light to that. But the wrestling community really grew together, helped them out. And this is kind of a similar thing, but this is specific to us here in North Carolina. It's about what we want and what we think is best for the kids of North Carolina.
Northwest Guilford, you guys think you're the best team, email them, make sure you're able to prove it. Huff, you think you're the best team, email them, make sure you're able to prove it. Every single Lumberton, Inca, North, West, Pinecrest, First Flight, okay, North Pitt, Cary, everyone.
Let's let them know
all right?
what
let
it
them
means.
know what it means to you guys to be able to wrestle in the state tournament. Okay, let them know what it means to you to have the opportunity to go and compete for a state title, and especially you seniors, because you don't get to do it again.
Yeah,
A lot of you guys don't get to wrestle in college. Okay, I mean, and I hope that you do. All right. Shout out, go get a hold of Tanner Sewell in Village Coaching Recruiting to be able to go wrestle in college. Okay, but the brutal reality of it is that this is your last season if you're a senior in high school. This is your last chance to come out of the state champ. It's your last chance to be a state qualifier, your last chance to place. Okay, tell them what it means to you. All right, parents, help your kids realize their dreams. Coaches, help your kids realize their dreams. And you do every day. All right. Reach out to them. Make sure they know what it means to you to be able to have a state tournament, a good state tournament, and a fair state tournament with regionals and WRESTLEBACKS at both regionals and state. That's all I'd say about it.
North Carolina Athletic Association.
It's on you.
It's on you. Do what you say. Be about the athletes, right? Do what you say. I'm waiting.
Yep, we're waiting. So, but yeah, it's gonna be it for this week.
Don't forget to like and subscribe our YouTube page.
Please. And guys, like we said, please send us results, send us your videos, send us your pictures. We're gonna start doing some weekly competitions for best pictures, best matches, whatever it is, best takedown, anything. We want content. All right, we want to blow you guys up. We want to make sure that y'all know that we are here for y'all to grow this sport. And we're out.